So this is the obesity paradox. We're back to a lot longer chapter. There's a lot in this chapter. So what is this chapter? Chapter 10, your personal prescription, 10 principles for minding the U-curve. So there's a lot of information here. I'm gonna take my time with it. It helped someone. It did help a little bit with me. I've made some changes based off of this. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, taught the right amount of nourishment and exercise, not too much, not too little, is the safest way to health. If you listen to your body, this is just common sense. In my lifetime, I've watched obesity rate triple throughout much of the Western world. And I've simultaneously seen the number of people competing marathons rise 20-fold. Now that I've given you a wealth of new knowledge, some questions remain. In light of the obesity paradox, should doctors actually be advising overweight and obese patients to lose weight or not? What about lean, normal weight patients with cardiovascular disease? Should doctors be trying to promote weight gain or purposely trying to add fat? Does fitness totally and always negate the effects of fatness? And does belly fat matter if you are also fit? These questions reflect the perplexing array of issues that arise around the obesity paradox. Although we all like our facts and directives about how to live a healthy life to be a clear, cut, and straightforward, the real world is anything but. Clearly, everyone will have come to this book with a different set of personal circumstances. Some will be tiptoeing close to a dreadful diagnosis like diabetes or heart disease, regardless of their weight, while others might already be managing a chronic condition or have survived a heart attack or heart failure, or who have other heart conditions, and still there will be those who epitomize the standard portrayal of health, but who would do well to heed this book's message to optimize prevention. You are curious about how to balance the competing needs for certain fitness and fatness levels while also potentially benefiting from weight loss, and how to do it safely. So all these recommendations are relevant for people with and without diagnosed conditions. The obesity paradox's main lesson. If we put all the obesity paradox evidence we've collected so far and laid it on a table, you'd soon find yourself looking at a gigantic, intricate jigsaw puzzle that doesn't have a single solution. You can assemble the various pieces, but at the same time, you will find alternate solutions using different shapes that also seem to fit here and there. It's as if the puzzle is constantly shifting and changing its shape as you struggle to reach a finite endpoint. This is the obesity paradox. But despite its complexities, especially since each of us carries a unique physiology and set of risk factors, both inherited and not, we can nonetheless extrapolate a very few principles that everyone would do well to follow. The first ironclad rule is the one I've already underlined numerous times. Being at either end of the spectrum, either morbidly obese or painfully thin, spells trouble. It's a classic U-curve. You don't want to be on the edges. Even though we know that the body mass index doesn't always tell an accurate story, to say a blanket statement that obesity is bad or thin is good is fraught with errors and oversights. We do know that the law of diminishing returns rings loud and clear. The closer one gets to those extremes, anyone who falls under one of the two categories would do well to be focusing on their weight closer to the middle of the curve. We can all also agree that even the term obesity begs to be redefined. It's not fair to lump someone with a BMI of 30 who is metabolically healthy from a cardiovascular fit standpoint in the same category as a person with a BMI of 39 who can barely climb a staircase without getting winded. By the same token, a fit person with a BMI of 28 could easily outlive a thinner individual who is not fit. Even though the prevailing wisdom is that anyone with a BMI of 25 or greater bears dramatically greater risk factors for things like cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers. So while it's right to associate obesity with diabetes and other health problems, the revered BMI charts don't give us complete information, and so-called healthy weight ranges may differ from person to person. In addition, research shows that more than half of overweight and almost 1/3 of mildly and moderately obese people are metabolically healthy, which amounts to quite a lot of individuals, 56 million Americans. These are the people who are chubby or full-figured, but not in the danger of dying early, especially if they are in physical shape, yet are relentlessly censored by society, the media, employers, insurances, public health authorities, doctors, to lose weight. So, please do not misunderstand what I'm saying, or insinuate that I'm promoting obesity. Nevertheless, I am saying that you do yourself a better favor by maintaining your weight and increase your fitness, both of which will help you avoid obesity-related conditions. But for those who are already overweight, the message is that you can be healthy as or even healthier than your thinner friends. And the fitter you are, the healthier you'll be. A convoluted debate with a simple 10 key principles. Most commonly accepted rules for good health can be quite exacting as to how to follow or implement in one's life. I'm here to empower you to take control of your body and your future of your health. The suggestions I offer in the following pages are more like lifestyle algorithms, guidelines for thinking through your myriad lifestyle choices and personal circumstances in light of all this information. So principle 1 is put obesity into personal perspective. First, let me remind you, the facts of the obesity paradox do not endorse obesity to any degree. From a public health perspective, preventing weight gain in the first place should be a primary goal. More than anything, my hope is that my message empowers you to see your personal issues with weight under a new light that can inform better decisions about maintaining the weight that's ideal for you and your risk factors. Mind that U curve and find your BMI sweet spot, which can be anywhere between 18.5 and 35, so long as you maintain fitness. People with naturally larger body frames will have higher BMIs, and that's okay if your metabolic health remains good and any chronic conditions are managed. Principle 2, change the conversation. Although we like to think that we each have a pretty good idea whether or not we should lose a few pounds in the name of health, this is virtually impossible to know due to the prevailing discourse about fatness and society's love of thinness. How much of our thoughts about your weight affect your quality of life and mental health? How many times have you tried a diet only to lose weight and then gain it all back? I don't expect our obesity-loathing environment to change anytime soon, which means we must each first alter our internal conversation to arrive at our own definition of health. The conversation needs to shift to one that's centered on metabolic fitness, which includes the cardiorespiratory component. All roads lead to ideal weight once fitness takes the center stage. Let's change the conversation as we try to partly turn a blind eye to how BMI defines us. Let's also evict the word fat from our vocabulary and replace it with health. Principle 3, know your numbers. In addition to having a vague idea of where you are in the wide range of health possibilities, one of the best ways to measure your health more precisely is to have your doctor check your vital signs and order a complete metabolic and lipid panel from a simple blood draw that you have fasted for 12 hours. The results to pay attention to include the following. Hemoglobin ALC. This is a protein found in red blood cells that carries oxygen and binds to blood sugar. And this binding is increased when blood sugar is elevated. This test determines your blood sugar levels and whether or not you are at risk for diabetes. Fasting blood glucose. Your in-the-moment blood sugar levels tell you how much glucose is currently circulating in your blood. C. Reactive protein. This is a marker for inflammation. Higher levels are correlated with higher risk of a variety of illnesses and metabolic conditions, including diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Lipids. These include your fasting cholesterol numbers and your triglyceride values. Principle 4, improve your metabolic health. Knowing your numbers will help you focus on other areas where there's room for improvement. So here are 4 tips for improvement. Reduce sugar consumption. This will automatically help you gain better control over your blood sugar balance. Most everyone would do well to heed this advice. 2, maintain regular sleeping patterns. Every system in the body is affected by the quality and the amount of sleep we get at night. Sleep has many benefits, including helping us feel refreshed, creative, happy, and mentally sharp. It can influence our appetite, how fat we get, and how well we cope with stress. 3, reduce exposure to obesogens. Choosing foods that are less processed and closer to nature will help you reduce your exposure to environmental toxins that could be having a negative impact on your body. Move more throughout the day. Just be mindful that you can increase your fitness all day long just by moving as much as possible. Principle 5, maintain dietary habits that work for you. The best dietary protocol is the one that works best for you. It's beyond the scope of this book to lay out a single regimen with meal plans and menu ideas. Note that a diet doesn't have to entail a regimen geared towards weight loss. As long as you reach your health goals and above all, enjoy what you're eating, and your body seems to agree. Principle 6, when in doubt, go Mediterranean. This lifestyle endorses a variety of plant foods while reining in bread and processed meats and high-fat dairy. It also encourages herbs and spices over salt and unhealthy fats. This isn't necessarily a weight loss diet, it's a simple way of eating that can indeed lead to weight loss. But overall, it reflects a healthy food lifestyle with documented health benefits. Principle 7, don't buy into myths if you choose to go on a diet or lose weight. Myths about weight loss and even obesity continue to circulate like urban legends. So a myth, small activities make a big difference. For example, walking a mile a day can lead to the loss of more than 50 pounds in 5 years. The truth. Although one can argue that every minute of engaged exercise counts, recent studies have shown there's enormous variability from person to person. Your true weight loss will probably be only a fraction of that, about 10 pounds. So myth, setting a realistic goal to lose a modest amount works. People who are too ambitious will give up quickly out of frustration. The truth, you can set an unrealistic goal and still experience great results, as several studies have shown that more ambitious goals are sometimes associated with better weight loss outcomes. Myth, you have to be mentally ready to diet or you'll never succeed. Truth, being ready does not predict how much weight you'll lose or how well you can stick with the program you're trying to follow. When we voluntarily choose to enter a weight loss program, we are already at least minimally ready to engage in behaviors required to lose weight. Myth, slow and steady weight loss works best. Truth, whether you lose weight slowly or quickly, both types can work in the long run. You just need to do what works for you and what you can sustain. Unproven ideas. Diet and exercise habits in childhood set the stage for the rest of life. Although your BMI tends to follow a certain pattern as you age and remain steady in a similar range, long-term studies have shown that such patterns may be due to genetics rather than life experiences. Eating breakfast is the key to weight loss, but two respectable that looked at respectable professionals that looked at the difference between eating breakfast and skipping breakfast. It showed that it doesn't matter when it comes to weight loss. Adding lots of fruit and veggies to your diet will help you lose weight and not gain as much. Yes, eating fruits and veggies have health benefits, but when you don't change other dietary habits, that can be sabotaging your good weight intentions. More fruits and veggies will not prevent weight gain. And finally, yo-yo dieting is harmful and can lead to increased death rates. We have some evidence to show that fluctuation in weights are associated with increased mortality. Such findings are due to other health-related conditions and not the yo-yo diet itself. Principle 8, know the facts about weight loss. Given the laundry list of diet myths, you'd think that the list of truths by backed scientific facts would be equally as long, if not longer. But the truth is much simpler, and by now you most likely already know it. Heredity is important, but it's not destiny. So even though you may come from a family with a history of diabetes and heart disease, for instance, these conditions do not have to be your fate and infringe on your quality of life. Exercise helps with weight management and maintenance. Exercise actually does a lot more than that. It can help control blood sugar, stave off diabetes, and inhibit negative effects that carrying extra fat can have on you. Weight loss is more successful with programs that provide meals. This makes it so you are not left wondering what to eat. Some prescription drugs will help with weight loss and maintenance. None of these are a replacement for nutrition and exercise. Weight loss surgery in some patients can lead to long-term weight loss, less diabetes, and a lower death rate. Principle 9, prioritize and maintain fitness regardless of weight. Fitness is much more important than and will help you live a long life. Despite that dreaded weight creep throughout the years, how fit are you now? And how can you know what your fitness level should be, given your gender and age? In general, if you can climb several flights of stairs without difficulty and can walk a mile or two at a decent pace, then you are in a good shape at any age, whether you are a man or a woman. However, there is usually room for improvement, however. A well-rounded exercise program that builds and maintains high fitness includes cardio work, strength training, and stretching. Each of these activities confers unique benefits that our body needs for peak performance and to positively affect our genes and metabolism. Aim for 30 to 40 minutes of exercise on most days of the week. Principle 10. Consider drugs and supplements as needed. It seems like we are bombarded by the media daily regarding the use of drugs and supplements, with messages about what we should be taking to boost metabolism, spur weight loss, and enhance health. While it's true that drugs and supplements should never be used as an insurance policy against lapses in our diet and lifestyle, there are specific products proven to work for supporting our health. Let me give you my thoughts on the most commonly used ones. So first we have daily multivitamin. If you eat a balanced diet, you shouldn't need to worry about nutrient deficiencies. It's up to you whether or not you choose to take a daily multivitamin. Although many people swear by their multivitamins and won't want to give them up, some recent studies are actually showing that they may not be beneficial to your health and potentially increasing your risk for certain cancers. Statins, depending on your cholesterol level, age, and risk factors, your doctor may encourage you to take a statin, a compound that inhibits a liver enzyme that plays a central role in the production of cholesterol. For a long time, we thought the purpose of these statins was solely to lower heart disease risk by virtue of their impact on cholesterol production. But the story doesn't end there. It turns out that they have a profound effect on the entire body because they help control systematic inflammation, the biological process that can go into overdrive and trigger all kinds of dysfunction and illnesses when left unchecked. Not everyone can tolerate statins, which have side effects, most notably muscle aches and weaknesses. Then you have omega-3. For people with high cardiovascular risk and or known heart disease, I recommend taking an omega-3 supplement at a dose greater than 600 milligrams per day. Omega-3s can help lower triglycerides and improve vascular function. Vitamin D. If lab results show that vitamin D levels are low, you may want to consider taking a vitamin D supplement. Vitamin D is not really a vitamin. It acts more like a steroid or hormone in the body. Vitamin D deficiency is not just about an increased risk for weak, soft bones and, at the extreme end, rickets, Nisolin. Finally, I found that some patients, especially those with high triglycerides and low HDL, benefit from Nisolin. Nisolin is a form of vitamin B3 found in many foods, including meat, fish, eggs, milk, green vegetables, beans, and fortified breads and cereals. It is required for the proper function of fat and sugars in the body and to maintain healthy cells.